Hey, what's up? Ever hit snooze one too many times, stumbled out of bed and thought, yeah, breakfast, not happening today. Maybe you're deep into intermittent fasting, chasing that lean, energized vibe, or maybe you're just too swamped to scramble eggs. Either way, you've probably heard that old line. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But is it really? Or could skipping it actually be good for your heart? Hold that thought, because the answer's a bit of a roller coaster. Today, we're diving into the science, the myths, and some real-world stories about skipping breakfast and how it could either save or wreck your heart. Buckle up, because this one's going to be eye-opening. We'll explore why some people thrive without that morning meal, while others feel their heart paying the price. And by the end, you'll have the tools to decide what's best for your own ticker. Let's set the scene with a relatable story. Meet Sarah, a 34-year-old graphic designer with a toddler who's basically a tornado in tiny sneakers. It's 7 a.m., her inbox is screaming, her kid's tossing Cheerios like confetti, and her coffee's already cold. Breakfast? No chance. She's been skipping it for months, partly because she's trying intermittent fasting, partly because mornings are pure chaos. She feels sharper, lighter, maybe even healthier. But then her mom, a nurse who's always clipping health articles, texts her a link claiming skipping breakfast could tank her heart health. Now Sarah's wondering, is she boosting her longevity or playing Russian roulette with her ticker? That's the big question we're tackling today. Is skipping breakfast good or bad for your heart? We'll look at both sides, unpack the research, and give you actionable steps to make the right choice for you. Before we dive into the science, let's talk about why this matters at all. Your heart's a workhorse, pumping blood 24/7 to keep you alive and kicking. But heart disease is still the #1 killer worldwide, claiming millions of lives each year. What you eat, or don't eat, plays a huge role in keeping it healthy. Breakfast, that morning ritual we've all been told to prioritize since childhood, is now under the microscope. Some swear by it for steady energy, others ditch it and report feeling fantastic. So, what's the deal? Let's explore both sides with a couple of vivid stories, some hard data from recent studies, and practical tips to keep your heart happy. We'll cover the benefits, the risks, and everything in between, so you can make informed decisions about your daily routine. First, the case for skipping breakfast. A lot of folks, like Sarah, are drawn to intermittent fasting, skipping meals to create a fasting window where your body takes a break from digesting. The idea is that this break can unlock serious health perks, from weight loss to better metabolic function. Research suggests fasting can lower inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and even cut down bad LDL cholesterol, all major wins for your heart. Take Mark, a 42-year-old accountant who was tipping the scales at 220 pounds a few years back. He tried diets before, but nothing stuck until he started skipping breakfast, eating only between noon and 8 p.m. Over 18 months, he dropped 15 pounds, his blood pressure went from borderline high to textbook perfect, and his doctor was stoked about his lower triglyceride levels. He recalls how his energy levels soared. He no longer crashed mid-afternoon, and his workouts felt stronger. A 2020 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition backs this up. Intermittent fasting can improve heart health markers, especially for folks carrying extra weight or with metabolic issues like prediabetes. Another piece from Cell Metabolism in 2019 showed that time-restricted eating, like Mark's routine, can enhance heart function by reducing oxidative stress. Mark says he feels like a new man, more energy, better focus, even his jeans fit again. For him, skipping breakfast wasn't just convenient, it was transformative. Sounds like a dream, right? For some, skipping breakfast is like giving your heart a high five, allowing it to operate more efficiently without the constant influx of calories. But, here's the twist, not everyone's heart is cheering when breakfast gets the boot. Let's meet Lisa, a 50-year-old high school teacher with a packed schedule of lesson plans, parent meetings, and after-school clubs. She jumped on the fasting bandwagon to slim down, skipping breakfast and eating her first meal at 1 p.m. For the first couple of weeks, she felt okay, maybe a little hungry, but manageable. She thought she was on the path to better health, inspired by success stories online. Then things took a turn. She started feeling sluggish by mid-morning, snapping at her students over small stuff, and, scariest of all, noticed chest tightness during her morning walks. She chalked it up to stress at first, but a checkup revealed her blood sugar was swinging wildly, putting extra strain on her heart. Her doctor explained that for someone like her, with a family history of heart issues, skipping meals was disrupting her body's rhythm. A 2019 study in Circulation found that regularly skipping breakfast was linked to a 20% higher risk of heart disease in some groups, particularly older adults or those with existing heart conditions. Another study from the New England Journal of Medicine in 2021 echoed this, noting increased cardiovascular events among habitual breakfast skippers. For Lisa, skipping breakfast was like poking a sleeping bear. Her body didn't take kindly to it, leading to elevated stress hormones and irregular heartbeats. Her doctor told her to ease up on fasting and get back to a morning meal, suggesting something light like yogurt and fruit to stabilize her energy. Lisa's story is a cautionary one. What works for one person can backfire for another, especially if underlying health factors are at play. So, what's going on here? How can skipping breakfast be a heart saver for Mark, but a heart strainer for Lisa? It's all about your body's unique wiring, your age, your health, your lifestyle, even your genetics. To get to the bottom of this, let's break it down with 3 key factors that tie breakfast, or the lack of it, to your heart health: blood sugar control, cholesterol management, and stress hormone regulation. These aren't abstract concepts. They're the building blocks of how your heart functions day to day. Grab a coffee, or not, and let's dig in deeper, with more examples and research to flesh this out.
First up, blood sugar and insulin. When you skip breakfast, you extend your overnight fast, which can lower insulin levels and boost insulin sensitivity. That's a big deal for folks like Mark, who started with prediabetes and extra weight around his middle. Fasting helped his body regulate sugar better, taking pressure off his heart and blood vessels. Imagine your blood sugar as a steady stream rather than a raging river. Fasting smoothed it out for him. A 2021 study in Nutrients showed that intermittent fasting can improve insulin sensitivity in overweight adults, which is like giving your heart a breather from constant glucose fluctuations. But for others, like Lisa, skipping breakfast can throw things off balance. If you're prone to low blood sugar or have a history of diabetes, going too long without food can cause blood sugar spikes and crashes. Those swings stress your blood vessels, raise inflammation, and make your heart work harder to compensate. The same Nutrient study noted that women over 40 especially might see more blood sugar instability with irregular eating patterns, possibly due to hormonal changes. So, ask yourself, how does your body handle long stretches without food? Do you feel steady and focused, or are you shaky and irritable by 11 a.m.? Mark's mornings were productive. Lisa's were a fog of fatigue. Next, cholesterol and weight management. Fasting can lower LDL cholesterol and triglycerides for some, especially if it helps you shed pounds. Less body fat means less strain on your heart, which is why Mark's doctor was all smiles at his checkup. His weight loss, 15 pounds over a year, eased his heart's workload and improved his lipid profile dramatically. He went from worrying about statins to getting a clean bill of health. A 2018 meta-analysis in The Lancet found that intermittent fasting can reduce bad cholesterol by up to 15% in some people, along with lowering overall body weight. But here's the catch. Skipping breakfast doesn't always mean weight loss. For Lisa, skipping meals led to intense hunger later, and she'd end up scarfing down chips or cookies at night to make up for it. That's a problem. A 2017 study in the Journal of Nutrition found that breakfast skippers often overeat processed carbs later in the day, which can spike cholesterol and pack on pounds instead of shedding them. Lisa gained a couple of pounds during her fasting attempt, which only added to her frustration. The takeaway? If you skip breakfast, you've got to be strategic about what you eat later. Are you loading up on veggies, salads, and lean protein, like grilled chicken? Or are you hitting the drive-thru at 9 p.m. for a burger and fries? Mark planned his lunches meticulously. Lisa winged it and paid the price. Third, stress and hormones. Fasting can lower inflammation for some, which is great for heart health by reducing the buildup of plaque in arteries. But for others, it cranks up stress hormones like cortisol, which can raise blood pressure and make your heart pump harder than necessary. Lisa's high-stress life, grading papers late into the night, managing a classroom full of teenagers, juggling family dinners, meant her body was already on edge. Skipping breakfast pushed her cortisol levels higher, and her heart felt the strain through palpitations and tightness. Meanwhile, Mark's relatively chill accounting job with predictable hours and minimal drama made fasting less taxing on his system. He even incorporated meditation to keep stress low. A 2022 study in Frontiers in Endocrinology highlighted how stress levels and fasting tolerance vary wildly between people, influenced by factors like sleep quality and exercise habits. If you're already wired from a hectic schedule, skipping breakfast might be like adding fuel to the fire, exacerbating anxiety and heart strain. So, what's your stress vibe? Are you cruising through life with plenty of downtime, or is every day a juggling act of deadlines and demands? Lisa's story shows how external pressures can amplify the risks. Let's take a quick breather. This is a lot to process, right? The science is fascinating but messy. Skipping breakfast isn't inherently good or bad. It depends on you, your metabolism, your daily routine, your overall health picture. We've seen how it worked wonders for Mark, but backfired for Lisa. So, how do you make smart choices without guessing? Whether you're team breakfast or team fasting, here are 5 practical guidelines to keep your heart in top shape. These are like guardrails to keep you safe no matter your eating style. I'll expand on each one with tips and examples to make them stick. 1. Know your body inside and out. If you've got diabetes, low blood sugar, or a history of heart issues like arrhythmias or high cholesterol, talk to your doctor before skipping meals. Fasting isn't a one-size-fits-all deal, and your health history is a big piece of the puzzle. Lisa learned this the hard way. Her doctor's advice got her back on track with a personalized plan that included monitoring her blood sugar daily. Get a baseline checkup, maybe even wear a glucose monitor for a week to see how your body reacts. 2. Ease into fasting gradually. Don't go from 3 meals a day to a 16-hour fast overnight. That's a recipe for burnout. Start with a 12-hour window, say eating between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., and see how your body responds. Mark started with a 10-hour window and gradually stretched it over weeks, which helped his body adjust without freaking out. He tracked his energy levels in a journal, noting improvements along the way. If you feel off, scale back. No shame in that. 3. Focus on nutrient-dense foods whenever you eat. Whether you eat breakfast or not, prioritize whole foods. Think colorful vegetables like spinach and broccoli, lean proteins like chicken breast or tofu, and healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, or nuts. Lisa's mistake was leaning on processed snacks when she broke her fast, which did her heart no favors by spiking her inflammation. A balanced plate is your heart's best friend. Aim for half veggies, a quarter protein, a quarter whole grains. Mark's go-to lunch was a big salad with quinoa, grilled salmon, and a tahini dressing, nutritious and satisfying. 4. Watch your meal timing carefully. Eating too late at night can mess with your heart's natural rhythm, disrupting sleep and hormone balance. A 2020 study in The Lancet linked late-night eating to a 25% higher risk of heart disease, possibly because it interferes with your body's repair processes overnight. Try to wrap up meals at least 3 hours before bed to give your heart a rest. If you're fasting, make sure your eating window aligns with your energy needs. Maybe shift it earlier if you're an early bird. 5. Listen to your body's signals every step of the way. Feeling dizzy, tired, or foggy after skipping breakfast? That's your heart waving a red flag, signaling it needs more consistent fuel. On the flip side, if fasting leaves you energized like Mark, you might be onto something good. Your body's got a lot to say. Pay attention to hunger cues, energy dips, even mood swings. Lisa ignored her fatigue at first, but once she tuned in, she switched back to breakfast and felt worlds better.
All right, let's hit a few FAQs to clear up any lingering questions and add some more depth. Does coffee count as breaking my fast? Nope. Black coffee or unsweetened tea is fine. Calorie-free drinks don't mess with fasting benefits, and they might even enhance fat burning. Just skip the cream and sugar. What's the best breakfast for heart health? Go for oats with berries and a sprinkle of chia seeds for fiber and antioxidants. A veggie-packed omelet with spinach and tomatoes for protein and vitamins. Or Greek yogurt with walnuts and a dash of honey for probiotics and healthy fats. These options keep blood sugar stable and inflammation low. Can kids skip breakfast? Generally, no.
Growing bodies need consistent fuel for brain development and energy, so check with the pediatrician before making changes. Teens might experiment under supervision, but consistency is key. What about athletes? Should they fast? It depends. Endurance athletes, like runners, might benefit from fasted training for fat adaptation, but strength trainers could see performance dips without morning fuel. A study in Sports Medicine from 2023 suggests tailoring fasting to your sport and goals. We've covered a ton of ground, haven't we? From Sarah's chaotic mornings to Mark's success story and Lisa's warning tale, skipping breakfast can be a heart saver for some, like those who lose weight and stabilize their metabolism with fasting. But for others, like Lisa, it's a cautionary tale of pushing too hard, too fast, leading to stress and instability. The truth is, there's no universal rule here. Your heart's health hinges on your unique body, your stress levels, your nutrient choices, and how you fuel yourself overall. So experiment wisely. Try fasting if it feels right, but don't ignore your body's signals. Track your progress, maybe with an app or journal, and adjust as needed. And if you're unsure, a quick chat with your doctor can set you straight, perhaps with blood tests to monitor cholesterol and sugar. You've got the power to make choices that keep your heart beating strong for years to come, whether that's savoring a hearty breakfast or embracing a fasting window. If this video helped you rethink your morning routine, hit that like button and subscribe for more nonsense health tips. Drop a comment below. Do you skip breakfast, or are you a diehard oatmeal fan? Share your experiences. Maybe you've got a story like Mark or Lisa. I'd love to hear what's working for you and why. Until next time, here's to a heart that beats strong and a life that feels even stronger.